Hi there. This is my walkthrough of the Texas Compliance Matrix, and it's about customer information. And it's intended to create a demonstration of compliance with the Texas rules regarding the privacy of customer information, as well as the release of usage data to third parties and to the customer. So this is a way to protect yourself against any claims by a regulator that you are not in compliance or that you don't have a way of managing compliance within your company. This is particularly important when it comes to customer information privacy, as this affects all of your personnel because they all have obligations to protect that privacy. So let me just walk you through the table, and you can see how I set it up to be your hard proof that you are using a system and methodology for protecting customer privacy throughout your organization. So what I've done is taken a table, and within here you have a field that refers to the rule in Texas, section 25.472, and then I broke it down into individual subsections. B1, and etc. So under the rule text, I excerpted the language for each of the subsections, and so you can kind of focus on what's important. I've also highlighted in some cases particular language that I think is important, like deadlines. Then I have also the URLs, which are links to the rule, so you can go back and check and make sure that they're current. Of course, I will keep them updated, and they will be. Then you have the field, which basically breaks down a checklist of how are you staying in compliance with this rule and making sure that there's compliance throughout your organization. And you're doing that by, first of all, having a training video that all personnel would watch, in which I've created, and I'll show you where that exists. And then you also have situations where you have a separate Airtable that manages a system of record and workflow for requests for historical usage, whether it be by third parties or by the customer himself. And then a recognition that in some cases, if it's a customer asking for billing information, that would be recorded in the billing system because it has its own CRM/system of record for recording those requests. So you've mapped out for the regulator exactly how you are going to make sure you and the organization are compliant. I also created a field called Other Documentation. This goes back to what I was just saying about having another Airtable where you would create a system of record for managing requests for historical usage. And what I've included here is a URL link so that you can click on that and either take you to the existing system of record or Airtable that you have, or to go and download one so that you can create one. Then, of course, with any compliance matrix or compliance management system, you'd have the responsible department and the responsible person or party in that department to make sure, for example, that all personnel saw the video, or that they were using the historical usage system of record correctly and with training. I've also added a system for providing your own internal audits, so that you can show the regulator that, for example, you do an internal audit of this process, making sure it's in effect every 12 months, so once a year. And you would maybe update your video, or you'd make sure that people took a refresher, or that people who were new to the company had seen that video. And then you would record the date of the last audit. And what's wonderful about Airtable here is that you can put a date in, and then let's say next year comes around and you insert a new date, or replace it with the date that the new audit was done. And what will happen is that will be the new date that will show in the records. But if you go and open the record itself, it will show you what changes were made. So it would show that a line through the date of the prior year. So it will create an auditable record of all the audits that you do and when you do them, so that the regulator is confident that you are managing this process on a regular basis. Finally, I created a field for any notes that you might have about the audit process. For example, you might have said updated video or updated historical usage database, or if there's non-compliance, what you did to make sure that people who had not seen the video saw the video and when they had done it. Up here in the blocks section, which is something that Airtable creates to provide various other information, you have a description of what this matrix is used for. So that's just kind of handy reference material. And then here's the training video that I created. And it's just a 5-minute video that just explains what information is protected, how it's protected, and what you need to be aware of. And here is the countdown timer that I created that, based on the date of the last audit, it would then just count down from that date, so that when it got to 0 or 7 days before, you would know to go do your annual audit and, refresh this timetable. So I think this is a useful tool to protect yourself against claims that you're not managing your personnel and your organization well enough. And if you apply this sort of concept, and I will provide more tables like this for other sections of the rules regarding sales, regarding retention of records, things like that, then you're going to be well covered for any audit that may happen. And as those who have worked in Texas know, periodically the commission does do a thorough audit of everything in your system, and like everything from your terms of service to your marketing collateral. And you want to be able to give the best demonstration that you are actively managing compliance and that you are in compliance. And I guarantee you this is something that I have not seen in any other organization. So you will be setting the bar for super compliance. I hope you find this useful. Leave me any comments if you feel that this can be improved or changed in a way that would make it better for you. And I look forward to your suggestions. Thank you for your time and your attention.